Well, welcome to First Baptist Church Online. I'm Greg Boyd, I'm the pastor. If you haven't been to our church, we want you to join us in person every Sunday morning at 10:30. We're right across from Sonic if you're not sure where our church is. Now today, the last Sunday in October, is a special day for us. We've got Dr. Tony Wolf, who's the Executive Director for South Carolina Southern Baptist. He's our guest speaker because today is our 175th anniversary. Big deal for our church. Now because of that, we don't have our normal online service. But I thought it'd be a great time to just kind of let you kind of in on what the first 175 years were like. Just some highlights of that. It began when John Hart bought 450 acres of wooded land from his uncle right at the place where 5th Street dead-ended on Home Avenue. All this was just woods. And here he built his home close to what is now our intersection. And on just to the east of that, he built what became known as the Hartsville Plantation, which included, sure, some things like for cotton crops, but he also had a sawmill, he had a buggy carriage, and he had several shops and farm equipment places, all that right now on our property. So one of the things that he realized in the years is, I don't know where his original church was, but he thought too far to go on a Sunday. What if we had a church in this part of Hartsville? And so in 1850, the pastors from New Providence Baptist Church and Gum Branch Baptist Church got together and they took some members of each of their congregations. They said, let's start a brand new work in Hartsville. And they started what is now known as Hartsville's First Baptist Church in the location that we're going to show you in just a minute. So in 1850, Hartsville's First Baptist Church was a wooden church building built on this location, which happens to be the highest elevation in Hartsville. So they started meeting there, and Pastor Burns was the very first pastor here, and he pastored from 1850 to 1880. Tremendous things happened. Now, some of the things besides just getting a new church started was that in 1906, they started what is now Magnify Church, which just a year or two ago we knew as 4th Street Baptist Church, but it began as 2nd Baptist Church. One of the key figures that was an early member of our church was Major Lyda Coker, and he was very influential. He actually fought in the Civil War, sustained just a life-threatening injury. He did survive, came back to this area, lived in Society Hill a little bit, came here to a devastated Darlington County. And Major Coker was influential in helping the whole economy get back on its feet. He got cotton crops and other crops, but more than just crops, he got into the science of them. He started some mercantile shops in Hartsville. Eventually, he became one of the wealthiest men in all of South Carolina, and he had a heart for the community and for God. He started a high school known as Welsh Neck High School. But in 1908, several things happened. One, the state started its public school program. So in 1908, his high school became what we know as Coker College for Women. So Major Coker was the former of Coker College. Also in 1908, the original church building burned. So they built what we now have as the chapel. And this is registered as one of the historical monuments in South Carolina. Still, it works inside. We use the inside chapel for special events. And the bottom, the basement, we use for our student ministry in the game room. Now, some of the things that happened also around that time, in the 1930s, as you know your history, was the Great Depression. And one of the things that helped Hartsville was the building of what we know as the Lawton Building. The Lawton Building, named after J.J. Lawton, who was the first Sunday school superintendent at First Baptist, is a 3-story education building. And that was designed to help the Sunday school, the children's and adults ministries here at First Baptist. It also became the very first kindergarten for all of Hartsville in 1959. So the first kindergarten was in the Lawton Building. And it's interesting, when my wife and I came here 9 years ago, we asked a lot of our elder members and shut-ins, What's one of your favorite memories of First Baptist Church? And all of them said one of two things: being married in the chapel or having Sunday school in the Lawton building. And these are still very, very important, not just buildings in our church, but in the community as well. Now, one of the things that happened too in the 40s is 1943, during the war, our church built a parsonage. This is where the pastor stayed at that time. And that parsonage now is used by Child and Family Resource Foundation. So in the mid-80s, the church realized they needed some more space for adult small groups, children, and they needed a better dining facility, kitchen, and eating place. So they started construction of what we now know as our Family Life building. This was finished in 1984, and it is still an incredible place for our church to meet together for meals. We have classrooms and conference rooms on the bottom floor and on the second floor. An historical room up there, so if you want to know more about our church, visit us and visit the history room upstairs. Now, in 1999, our church voted on three things. One is it's time to renovate the chapel. It had been in disrepair for quite some time. Second thing they voted, we need a brand new facility for our children and our youth. The Lawton building, again, that was getting in disrepair and it wasn't up to code, which meant the third thing they voted on, let's just raise the Lawton building to the ground and build a new facility on that location. And even though the church voted on it, we had some of the members that felt a discomfort for tearing down the Lawton building. So committees were formed, and in 2004, some things happened. One, they decided to come up with options for the Lawton building, other than its use, but to leave the Lawton building as it was, the original. It's got a good structure, good bones to it. And that's the year that we completed our children's building. So what began in Hartsville as our very first kindergarten, we still have one of the preeminent preschool programs in town. It's 2 years old, all the way up to 5K. It's a wonderful program here. So this is our children's building, and we have children meeting in it upstairs midweek for our church, and the preschool program, Hartsville's First Baptist preschool program, every weekday during school year. So in talking about the facilities of First Baptist Church, we saved the most iconic building for the last, and that is our main sanctuary. In the 1960s, there were two services going on in our chapel, and it was crowded elbow to elbow. We'd already started 6 churches in Hartsville by that time. It began with 4th Street. We started South Hartsville Baptist, East Hartsville Baptist, which you now know as Emmanuel Baptist Church. They're way out on the bypass. We started Lakeview Baptist Church. We started North Hartsville Baptist. We started West Hartsville Baptist churches. So 6 churches in all between 1906 and 1957. But our church kept growing. And so they made plans to let's build a big building, a sanctuary for First Baptist. So this building was completed in 1964. And they built it with future in mind. It sat about 1,000 people, but it was very thin spaces between pews. And a lot of this has been renovated. In 1995, it was renovated and restored again in 2023 and 2024, another renovation. So chimes were fixed, painting inside and outside, and repairs. And this is what most people see and drive by and know as First Baptist Church. Now, all that's part of the first 175 years. But we're excited for what's next. What's next? We don't want to just live in the past. We can see First Baptist Church as a place where everybody around us can connect with God and connect with each other. Come to a place where you feel like you can belong. You're part of a family. We love you, accept you as you are. It's a place where you can belong and a place where you can grow personally, spiritually, grow for yourself and grow for your family and grow in the community, because our desire is to have a good impact on our community, our state, our nation, and even the world. So please consider not just watching online, but participating, being a part of what's coming next at First Baptist Church. It's not just the history, it's the future, and we want you to be part of it.